Welcome to the Secrets of Confident Women podcast, where you'll learn all the best tips, tricks, and practical techniques for building the confidence levels you've always wanted. With inspiring interviews, real-life examples, and game-changing insights, this podcast is for women who know that mastering the skill of confidence is one of the most important things they'll ever do.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the final episode of the Secrets of Confident Women podcast for 2021. I'm back with Anastasia, and we are so excited to bring you some of our favorite podcast moments of this year.
Hey everyone, I am back. It's been a while, and oh my God, I cannot believe we've just completed our second year of this podcast.
I know.
It's been such an amazing experience again, especially during such a challenging year.
Oh, look, I know, right? The world has just gone through another year of lockdowns, another year of uncertainty and fear, but, you know, keeping this podcast alive has just kept us so happy and so proud to be able to continue doing what we love, which is helping women create and maintain their confidence to live their best lives.
Definitely.
So we've interviewed so many amazing women this year, and it's really hard to pick our favourites because every woman has brought something so incredible, like inspiring stories and just a unique view of the world, a unique view of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we're intentional about that, right? We pick a really diverse group of women because we want to get so many different perspectives. And I think this year has given us some of our best conversations yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to learn more about networking, about habit creation, which was, you know, a favorite for both of us.
Yeah.
How to nail your next interview. That one was fun and so practical.
Yeah.
How to manage perfectionism, how to stop comparison syndrome, which we all deal with at some point or another. And we were inspired by just so many women who taught us the techniques that they use to rebuild their lives, fight through adversity, you know, skyrocket their businesses, whatever techniques they call on every day to boost their confidence and just be the best version of themselves. But I think I have to say one of my highlights was that I got to interview gold medal winning Paralympian Ellie.
Yeah.
I was a bit like starstruck.
You were. I remember the lead up to
I know. How psyched was I?
You were pretty nervous. And
then afterwards I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
It was so cool. I mean, she's become one of our most decorated and successful Paralympians ever after this year's Tokyo Games.
Yeah.
But you know what? Every moment of this year's podcast gave us something new and exciting. But there was one thing I noticed. There was like a consistent theme throughout every episode. And that was basically that all of the women that we interviewed had one common technique that worked for all of them, which was to surround themselves with people who wanted to see them win. And it didn't matter what they were talking about, what context they were saying it in, all of them choose and are really intentional about choosing the right people around them who want to see them win both professionally and just generally in life. And I love this because this has always been my go-to technique when it comes to building my own confidence. And it was just so exciting and inspiring for me to hear that so many women use this same technique to create the confidence that they want to live their most self-expressed, happy and just confident lives.
I know. It is a key technique because it's so challenging to stay confident or be confident or even go after what you want if the people around you are just
pulling you down,
whingers, have a negative focus on the world. Like it's hard. It's an energy around
they have
you.
a problem for every solution.
Yes.
But you want the people who have a solution for every problem, right?
Absolutely. Look, working on your confidence is challenging and some days are great, some days are not so great.
Yeah.
But when you're surrounded by people who just are like, keep going, you can do this, you've got it, you're whatever. Oh my God, it's so much easier
Changes
to recover
everything.
from the low days, right? So I'm not surprised that it's one of the key techniques that everybody uses, especially in the women that we're interviewing because, you know, a lot of them have been sort of those go-getters. They've written books. They're sort of out there living life and doing life.
Yeah.
And they need their confidence to be able to do that. So, you know, surrounding yourself with supportive and positive women is just one of the best ways to boost your confidence.
Absolutely.
And it's one of the main reasons we created this podcast really to begin with. It's so that all of our listeners can get an insight into which techniques work for other women.
Yep.
And, you know, what we can all do every single day to increase our confidence and be happy. So, and you and I wanted to be surrounded by more confident, positive women.
That's why we choose them so intentionally, right?
Absolutely. So interviewing these amazing women has just been, we get off the interview really pumped up and feeling great. And
it's just fun, right? Why choose to surround yourself with people who are just going to make life harder?
No.
Why would you do that? No. Why not, purposefully pick people who make your life happier and do everything they can, even if it's just kind words. They do everything they can to make your life easier, and that will make you happier and it'll make you more confident because you've got that support and you can't beat that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think one of the key moments for me, and oh my goodness, there were so many. I mean, I did do a lot of interviews this year because I had the podcast equipment. Yes. I had the podcast and you weren't allowed to come to the office. So there were so many key moments. But there's one that really just, because it was so random and it was unexpected, and it wasn't even based on a question that I had prepared for this lady. It was when I interviewed Kelly Lewis, and at the end, as you know, we ask our Rise Women final power questions. And in that, one of the questions we ask is who inspires you and why. And I just interviewed her about her book, Tell Her She Can't. And I am one of those people who always reads the dedication of a book.
Because it's like the backstory to the story, right?
That's right.
How did this person get here?
And it's sometimes my children or my parents or whatever.
Yeah.
And she'd written this name, Coggy, I think it was. I mean, I didn't know what it meant or whatever. But it actually, in our questions at the end, she shared that was a name that she called herself when she was a child. And so she actually dedicated the book to her younger self. And it said, Coggy, we made it. Yeah. And we both welled up with tears. And as she was sort of explaining it, it was such a touching moment.
Completely unexpected. Yeah.
Totally unexpected.
It's also recognition, isn't it? It's acknowledgement. It's, we acknowledge other people for the amazing things they've done for us and our lives, but we forget to acknowledge ourselves.
Yes, I know.
And she had so much to go through.
So much. It was just it was just one of the real, there's been so many. I've interviewed some amazing, kick-ass, awesome women. But that was such a real moment for me that I was just so inspired by that. So anyway, that was probably my key moment. But, I also loved hearing the topic of authenticity come up over and over again. In almost every conversation that I had, when I asked the question, what does being a confident woman mean to you? Most of the answers really had a very similar response, that being a confident woman comes from being true to yourself, from sticking to your values and never compromising your integrity.
Yeah.
And I just loved every woman's reply. So like we did last year, what I've done, gone through every single episode and we've pulled out all the reminders of what our guests have said being a confident woman really looks like. So
great.
I hope you love this. I love putting it together. But here is an amazing compilation from our interviews of what being a confident woman means to our guest. Okay, so what does confidence or being a confident woman mean to you?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think confidence is such a huge word and can mean a lot of different things. But for me, it's just about being, I heard this quote once about being unapologetically yourself.
Yeah.
You want to be yourself, but don't have to apologize to anybody for maybe being your crazy self, but also you want to be comfortable, whether that's in certain clothes you wear or how you speak.
For me, I am at my most confident self when I am aligning my behaviors with what I value.
I think for me, it's about being seen as the real you. And the more that you can be attention out, constantly thinking about other people versus yourself, to me, that's confidence.
Oh, I think confidence to me means the absence of doubt. It's not thinking twice. It's not thinking, am I, could I, should I? I think when you're confident, you think, of course I deserve this. Of course it's come to me. Of course I'll get paid this much. Of course I should negotiate this.
preparation is probably one of the most important things for an athlete in terms of confidence.
So tell me, what does confidence or being a confident woman mean to you?
That's a great question. So I think when I initially thought about this, I thought, it's someone who has killer outfits, is making a lot of money and, is sort of the center of attention. But when I started to, actually think of people who've inspired me and who I think are confident, I actually found that it's people that are willing to be vulnerable. So what I mean by that is leaders who actually say when they're struggling or admit when they're wrong and are really open to feedback, as well as the killer outfit. Those are the top three.
I hear you.
Well, for me personally, it was having the confidence in myself to rebuild, to know that I am enough, that I can do good things, and put aside how I felt at the end of the marriage and come out going, I am a good person, and I'm good at what I do, and I have to rebuild.
Okay, so tell me, what does confidence or being a confident woman mean to you?
That's a great question. Look, I think confidence means many things to many people, and certainly for me, for the most part, it's not about thinking that you're superior or that you know it all. It's not about the sometimes perception that confidence is equated to arrogance. For me, it really comes down to feeling good in your skin, having belief in your ability to succeed. It's about thinking positively about yourself, and look, that's not easy all the time, but above all, knowing that no matter what anyone says to you, you're never as good or as bad as people say you are.
That's right, including yourself, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because we are our own biggest critics.
We're the own biggest critics and our own worst enemy.
Really, to me, it's a state of mind. Because there are days when I feel like a sack of potatoes and don't really want to do anything, and then 5 minutes later, I feel like I'm on top of the world. And I think that being a confident woman is about remembering for me why I'm here.
It's something, confidence is something I have grappled with my whole life, and I still do. I still do. And for me, really there are things that are easy to say. It's different to live it and to its full meaning. And, for me, it really is about being comfortable in your own skin. And that, to me, also means, also therefore understanding yourself and accepting that too.
For me, it's to be able to authentically express myself without feeling small.
I think that being a confident woman means believing and trusting in yourself and believing and knowing that you are strong enough, that you are capable enough, and that you know who you are,
Being a confident woman means to me that real deep knowing that the universe and the people around you have totally got your back.
What does confidence or being a confident woman mean to you?
Oh, I understand that your whole podcast is about being confident. And when you asked me to be part of it, I was like, well, I feel like I'm not a very confident person, but I am.
Which is normal, right? We all have those moments of, I'm nailing this thing called life and I'm so confident, and other moments where you go, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Confidence is definitely being able to be confident in your own skin and knowing your boundaries, knowing what you want, being able to trust yourself, and just overall developing sort of a boss energy, which is like a woman knowing what she wants.
Yes.
A woman who always...
I love that description. I haven't heard that. A boss energy. Oh my gosh, I want to have boss energy today.
Oh yeah,
that's great.
It's definitely a lifelong practice, but I do believe that it comes from tackling the things that are really difficult or that you fear and proving to yourself that you got it.
Absolutely.
Like that you can do it. In my book, I talk about how I bungee jumped off the Macau Tower.
Yeah.
Like that, I am not the person that's trying to book a bungee jump, there are times when I think oh my God, was that actually me? Or did an alien inhabit my body and get me to do that? We get so stuck in our rut with life, and life just kind of kicks us around, and you get into your routine, and especially if you have a family and responsibilities, and you forget that you're still the pilot of your life.
Yes.
You know, you are not the passenger. Like you get to make the decisions on how and where your life goes.
Yeah.
And I think the more freedom you have, then the more you can go from situation to situation to situation, and you're not having to hide anything.
Yes.
Well, you're hiding some things, you know, you're sticking your stomach in, you've got your Spanx on, you know, right? But
it's about living on the connected side of your emotional brain.
Right. Yeah.
And when you live on that side, so if you almost had a picture of a circle and made it your brain, and you had a line down the middle, and on the left side you wrote disconnected, and on the right side you wrote connected. You want to like move that line over and over and over to make the connected side bigger.
Right.
Because the stronger our ability to connect with ourselves, the easier it is for us to connect with what we want. And that's where confidence lies, right? When I know what I want, I can confidently move towards it.
Yeah.
When I'm in my connected side, I am a better human being. I'm a more confident woman. I'm more compassionate. I'm less judgmental of others.
Yes.
Like my good stuff comes forward and I like myself more. I mean, you know.
That's always a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, self-hate just doesn't really bring the best out in any of us. And we all have that.
Yeah. So when are you the most confident version of yourself, Heather?
I'm the most confident version of myself when I am diving into something that makes me feel afraid.
Grow.
Now I know that sounds strange.
We haven't had that answer before. I love that.
It's when I'm truly, because I know that when I'm diving into something that makes me feel afraid, I've made the conscious decision that this is my time and I'm going to do it even though it scares me, because that's what courage is.
You know, you'll probably cringe at this because this is most people's biggest fear. But for me, I feel the most confident when I'm presenting.
Oh, no, I don't cringe. I've said that so many times. I really,
Have you?
Yeah, because I love being on stage, but the majority of the population do not.
I feel like I'm most confident after I've been through a really hard slog or a hard struggle and I've come out the other side.
I'm at my most confident when my values are aligned with like how I'm showing up.
Yes.
You know, I've realized I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
When I've surrounded myself with positive people, positive thoughts, and just I've had a really positive day, I just feel amazing after that.
So tell me, when are you the most confident version of yourself?
For me, when am I most confident? Probably when I'm grounded in the present and when I've had a good night's sleep. I find sometimes, you know, I can get derailed when, you know, perhaps not on my best form in terms of, you know, looking after myself from a health and well-being perspective. Yeah. Or I find I'm also confident when I don't listen to those inner voices. You know, we were talking about that earlier on, but the negative thoughts can do a lot to derail you.
I like doing things that make me shit my pants a little bit. Pardon the term.
Yes, no,
but
it's
I
good.
think that's only good for you, right?
You know, I feel the most confident when I am traveling. I feel the most free when I am traveling. I feel just like, especially when I'm traveling solo, because it's really on me. Like the experience that I have is on me. If I want to meet people, it's on me to do that. If I don't, that's fine too. Like I get to make all the decisions.
But I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be happy with my results in Tokyo, because I know that the process that I've set up and, you know, the team that I've put around me and taking that ownership and all of those factors have been the best that I can make them.
Oh my God, I love that. It gives me chills every time I listen to how passionate, inspiring, and genuine all of these women are. I mean, I loved it last year. I love it this year. It's just such a great snapshot of, you know, what confidence means to all of these women. And you know what else I loved about our interviews? Every single one of them. I loved how often we were literally gifted with just amazing pieces of advice and real life confidence techniques that these women implement in their own lives all the time.
Yes.
You know, they figured out these techniques that work for them, but they gift them to us, which we can then gift to all our listeners, and they're things that you can implement in your life. They're really practical techniques. I mean, I remember when I interviewed Michelle Rubenstein, she gave us some really incredible techniques on how to nail an interview. Like, who doesn't need that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Remember she told us about how to write your resume so that the front page makes an impact because you've got 30 seconds, and it was just really practical advice.
Yeah. From someone who's
an expert
in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. She gave us some really great insights into what, your prospective employer may be thinking or what they're really looking for in an employee, things that we may never, ever know. I mean, these are such valuable tools that so many women can put into action straight away to start getting the results that they want in their lives. And every woman that we interviewed this year gave us something just magic that everyone can use.
Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. I've really enjoyed learning something new from each and every woman. There was always an aha moment, regardless of who I interviewed. And again, that, like I said at the beginning, just a different perspective.
Yeah.
Just how they view it or what certain things they do. Yeah. Really, really great. One of the ones I really remember was when I interviewed Brittany Newman, and she was talking about social media and different things like that. She talked about when she was a plus-size model and she unfollows pages that don't make her feel good about herself, but she leaves a positive comment.
Yes, I love that.
On that page before she And I was like, such a beautiful concept.
Most people would leave a terrible comment and then unfollow, but it's just this concept of leaving happiness around.
She was and I thought that is just such a wonderful thing to do.
Yeah.
And I'd never even thought about, I often unfollow, and we talk a lot about unfollow pages or things that don't make you feel good online. But that was a whole new little tip or technique that I just thought that's so valuable to know something like that. So I learned so much. There were so many different techniques. It was just every single one of the ladies that we interviewed had a different journey, and each of them have had to face some sort of challenge or obstacle along the way, but they've all succeeded because they all realize that, being a confident woman is the first and the most important step to becoming the strong, independent, to becoming resilient, to have, being that woman that you've always wanted to be. You have to have that foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just heard it over and over again. And I think so many women will be able to relate to all of these conversations.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, just like all the women that we interviewed, we're all running very different races too, right?
Yeah.
We've all got different journeys, but many of the challenges that we all face are often very similar as well. And as we've often said in the past, we're usually more inspired by other people's struggles than we are by their wins, right?
Absolutely.
Because we can relate to that differently, and it's more motivating to see other women push through adversity and come out stronger on the other side than just have everything kind of cushy and go, oh, look, I've won. Well, we're all struggling with something, right? So when we see someone else is struggling and we see them work through it and we see how they did it, that is motivating. It's always motivating.
Absolutely.
And I think every single one of our podcast conversations this year was motivating, which was so great.
Yeah.
But there is one thing we haven't mentioned yet, which we love, and it's always so exciting, and that's which was our number one most listened to episode of the year. Now, of course, some episodes have been around for longer than others.
Yes.
So this is by no means a definitive win. But as of today, our most listened to episode for 2021 was, Jodie?
Okay, so I've looked at the stats.
Yep.
And as you said, some podcasts have only been out for a couple of weeks. Some have been out that we launched earlier. So it is hard to gauge at this point. But as of today, our most listened to episode for 2021 was episode number 28 with Dr. Gina Cleo, which was called Change Your Habits to Change Your Confidence.
I love this. This is exactly what we mean by practical techniques that you can implement in your life.
I just loved speaking with Dr. Gina Cleo about habits because it's something I've really been interested in just forever. And in fact, I loved it so much that I ended up completing Dr. Cleo's habits course. And now, as you know, I did that earlier in the year, at the beginning of lockdown.
Just for something to do.
Just as you do. But I'm now a certified advanced habit change practitioner.
So cool.
It's so cool. It was such a great course and I really loved it. And it's been so valuable for me and all of my coaching clients because often the thing standing in our way of building our confidence is breaking bad habits that no longer serve us.
Yeah.
And plus, we all know that confidence is a habit. So knowing how to reinforce that habit is so crucial. So, Yeah, I'm thrilled that was the most listened to episode. So I guess so many of you actually it appealed to you as well. It's been a wonderful addition to what we do to help people learn about the anatomy of a habit and what parts you can work on to break bad habits that no longer serve you, but also how to put great new habits into your life that do serve you, that really support you. So
absolutely.
I was so thrilled to do that course.
And it's changed everything for us. I mean, what we know now about habits, because everyone knows kind of basic information about habits, right? But what we know now about how to break down a habit, how to, look at all the different parts and manipulate it so that you can change it into a more positive habit. It's taken our courses, our coaching, our presentations. It's just taken everything to the next level.
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier to implement the techniques that we give people now because we're teaching them step-by-step process for how to do it, right?
That's right, yeah.
Oh my God, we could be doing this all day.
I know.
There's so much to say about all our amazing conversations, but I suppose we need to wrap it up at some point.
We do.
Can you believe 2021 is almost over? I feel like I blinked and I went from April to December in a blink.
Oh, well, we're in lockdown for so much of it. So anyway,
let's hope that's hibernating.
Let's hope that's not happening again. But anyway.
But it's been an interesting year and it's definitely been a challenge for so many people, including us, but we made it. We made it to the end pretty much in one piece, relatively speaking.
I know, we did. But it's been a big year and we spent, as we said, almost half of it working apart whilst we're in lockdown here in Sydney for I think it was over about 4 months.
Yeah.
We both had children learning from home. We both had to fit Zoom calls in to be able to work together. And it wasn't the same not having you in our office and being able to bounce ideas off each other and have that. So it was challenging, but one of the most exciting things about this year for us and for Rise Women was the fact that we worked so hard and managed to launch our Confidence for Women in the Workplace online course last month. So we were so thrilled to do that. We'd been waiting to create this course for so long and 2021 was the year that we made it all happen. So we are so proud of this course. We literally pulled together all of our best information and techniques, and we created a course designed specifically for working women in mind.
Yeah.
The course is full of confidence-building techniques to help women get ahead in the workplace. It's fun, it's practical, and we absolutely know it's a game changer. So if you'd like to know more about our online courses or if you'd like to find out more about the ways we can help you become the confident woman you've always wanted to be, then head over to risewomen.com.
Absolutely.
Our workplace course is now closed. We only opened it for a couple of weeks in November. So go and join our waitlist and ready for when we open the course again next year.
Please, you will love it and you will not regret it.
No.
Right, so we've come to the end of this episode and another year of podcasting. And I have to say, I think this is my favourite part of this roundup final episode. I know it's a lot of hard work for you.
It's so much hard work.
So much, like she literally sits in front of the computer, everyone, for hours trying to figure this all out. But it's so worth it because this is the bit where you pull together all of our best responses to our Rise Women Power questions.
I know.
I love this bit because the answers we got are just so varied. I mean, some were really, really funny. Some were emotional and, they'll literally bring tears to your eyes. But all of them were just incredible. And they're such a great way to showcase the amazing women that we've had on the podcast this year.
Yes, look, I love creating this part of the episode because I love going back over all the conversations we've had and remembering some of those nuggets of wisdom that we heard, plus, as you said, all the funny answers and some that really brought us to tears. So it is a lot of work, but it's so enjoyable. And I have to say there's been points throughout this year that I've actually gone back and listened to the compilation from last year because if I've been a bit flat or something and I've been walking my puppy dogs, I think, you know what, I'm going to go back to that. And it really is
such a
great boost. So I know that this is something I'll go back to and I hope everyone else, I hope you all love it and it's something that you keep on your saved list and you can go back and get a bit of a boost when you need one.
Yeah.
So thanks again for joining us and listening to our podcast. We love bringing these episodes to you and we're always open to suggestions. So please email us if you have any ideas about topics that you'd like us to discuss, or even guests that you'd like us to interview, women that you know in your life or that you're inspired by, and we'll try and make that happen for next year. And thanks to all our wonderful guests from 2021. Without you, this podcast just wouldn't be possible, and we are so grateful to your time, the energy you put in, effort you put into creating answers to our questions that really passed on some really valuable techniques to our listeners.
Absolutely.
So, Anastasia, thanks for joining me for another year.
Thank you.
I can't wait to do it all again. But for now, we both hope you enjoy our Rise Women Power Questions Roundup for 2021. And always remember, with confidence, anything is possible. Bye for now.
Bye. Okay, so today I'm really excited, and if I'm going to be totally honest, I'm a little starstruck too, because today I'm speaking with the super inspiring, super determined, and just all-round super amazing Paralympian Ellie Cole. So Ellie Cole, welcome to the Secrets of Confident Women podcast.
That was a brilliant introduction.
Yay, thanks.
Probably the best that I've heard, and I couldn't stop thinking, like, if my mum was listening to this, she'd be in tears. And I also feel like that wasn't really me that you were reading about, because I also suffer from the classic imposter syndrome. But
God,
really
terrible.
Great job.
Casey, welcome to the Secrets of Confident Women podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me. What an intro. I sound very impressive when you talk about me.
Great. You are very impressive. So, Jane, I can't wait for today's discussion, and I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome you to the Secrets of Confident Women podcast.
Today we'll be talking about how to nail your next interview with Michelle Rubenstein.
Today we are talking about whether our perfectionism is destroying our confidence. So, Dr. Margaret, welcome to the Secrets of Confident Women podcast.
Thank you, Jodie. I kind of wondered as I was sitting there listening to you, I thought, well, am I confident enough to be on this program?
You are.
Okay, guess what it's time for? It's time for our Rise Women Final Power Questions.
What do you wish every woman knew?
Very basically, I wish every woman knew how to access and listen and honor their intuition.
I wish every woman knew the freedom and liberation of a life built around good habits.
I wish every woman knew and believed that in their amazing body and mind exists their brilliance to become more.
So, what do you wish every woman knew?
That the power lies within themselves.
You can do it, so don't doubt it.
Okay, guess what it's time for? Rise Women Final Power Questions. Are you ready?
Oh, wow.
I know, it sounds really fancy, right? There's 5
that's
of
a really
them.
Great title. Okay.
They're quick, short, sharp answers. Hit me with what you've got. You ready?
I'm actually really nervous.
Okay, no, don't be nervous. They're easy. Tell me, number 1, what do you wish every woman knew?
Okay, I wish that every woman knew that they had the confidence within themselves to unleash if they surround themselves with the right people.
I wish every woman knew not to compare themselves to things like magazines and social media.
Oh, yes.
Because, even on those magazines, a lot of them are photoshopped. No one actually looks like that.
Her entire strength and wisdom has the potential to change the world.
That you are already whole, complete, confident, and beautiful. You don't need to change anything.
Yes, I love it.
You can do anything.
Yes, love that.
Like, I wish every woman knew unshakably that they could do anything.
Anything.
I wish that you knew that there will never, ever in the entire world be someone like you ever again.
Yeah.
Not with your smile, not with the way you see the world, not your essence. You are completely unique, and the world needs you as you are.
I wish every woman knew that their value was not tied to someone else's ability to value them.
I wish everyone knew not to be afraid of aging. As I admitted at 66 years old now, I'll be 67 in October, I was anorexic when I was younger. Now I see, though, that young women are getting Botox when they're 25 and getting plastic surgery on everything from their boobs to their thighs to their, to their faces. And it's just this phobia about age.
I wish every woman knew that she has all the personal power and inner strength she needs to have the life she wants.
They are enough.
Yes, I know.
That they are enough. You are enough. You will always be enough.
What is your superpower, Sheila?
I do speak to the dead, so you know the deceased souls. I feel like that's a superpower.
We tick that off as a superpower. That's right.
I say that sobriety is my superpower.
Oh, wow.
Oh, definitely spreading positivity on days where I'm not feeling 100%, because I've made it to like make me feel better as well. Like,
the one that's coming to me right now is being connected with passion.
Oh, it's my heart.
Oh, of course.
We were just talking about
that's great.
It's my heart.
Yes,
It
big
is,
heart,
yeah.
Jane. Okay.
What is your superpower, Dr. Margaret?
Laughter.
What of you?
It has saved my life many times, just being able to laugh at myself, to laugh at life.
My superpower is love.
Oh, do you know what? I don't think we've ever had that one. That is a beautiful superpower to have.
What is your superpower?
My superpower is connecting with people and talking to anyone about anything.
I do love that you will talk to anyone about everything. I think it's great.
And what is your superpower?
My superpower is how organized I am.
Good. Yes.
My organization skills are next level.
Mine too. To the point it almost annoys people, but yes.
I'm exceptional at finding cheap flights.
Oh, I love that. That's a good one. And now, what is your superpower?
Being uncomfortable.
Oh, wow. That is a great one. No one's ever said that. That is completely unique. Other people might like pineapple on pizza, but nobody has ever said that.
Being uncomfortable is definitely my superpower.
Oh, I want now I want that as my superpower. That's
Have
just
it.
too good. Yeah.
I'll
have to.
Constructive cheating.
Yeah, I'll have to create that to say that's now my superpower. I'll have to do some stuff. Heels or flats? Are you a heels or a flats girl?
Definitely flats,
Yes.
unless I'm going to a wedding, and then I always wear heels for weddings. Otherwise, flats all the way.
When I am in front of an audience, I choose to wear heels.
Yes, me too.
When I am sitting in my office, I choose to be barefoot.
Yes.
Definitely heels. Heels all the way.
Heels all the way. Good job.
Oh my God. Okay, pre-COVID, it was definitely heels. I was known for sky-high crazy shoes.
Yes,
but
great.
You know what? I actually think I'm going to become a runner's girl. I don't know if I'll go back to heels.
I know you will, because all those beautiful heels in your wardrobe are going to be begging to leave and go out in the world again at some point.
I love the good sneaker. Like, I love sneakers, but definitely heels. I just feel like amazing because I'm already 6 foot tall.
Yes.
If I go up another, 2 feet and I'm 6'2", I just feel insane. So I definitely have to say heels for that one.
Definitely a heels girl. I've got a huge collection.
I would say nowadays I would go flats, but definitely the 30-year-old version of me would have been heels all day.
Flats. You never know when you're going to have to run to see a sunset. I'm ready.
Flats all day, preferably boot.
Flats.
You're a flats girl.
Totally. And sneakers.
Heels or flats?
Heels all the way, baby.
Oh, thank God, Michelle. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. We're big heels girls. I even have flats, like sneakers with heels in them.
I am heels and flip-flops.
Yeah, so heels or flats, although even actually we're supposed to change this because we've bought in heels, flats, flip-flops, someone said snow boots, and we've had barefoot as well. So it's like, what's your flavour of...
Well, I was going to say, I thought you were going to call it out, but I have one to add, which would be Wellington boots.
Oh, okay, fabulous.
I'm a boot girl. I'm a slow heel, I'm a low-heeled boot kind of woman.
Definitely heels. I love going out, love the party. I've actually, though, been getting into flats recently, which is a new thing for me, but I'm definitely like glittery, red, going out, full face of makeup, let's go.
I know, I love it. You've always got the best eyeshadow on, the greatest shade of lipstick. It's amazing. Like, I can see your personality through the way you look, and It's a big deal. The way we look and the way we dress, it projects who we feel we are and who we want other people to see us as.
Yeah. Your favourite quote or rule that you live by?
There's one. I've loved Joseph Campbell's writing for so many years when I was young. When I was very young, I came across his book and I couldn't believe it. And he wrote, we must be willing to rid ourselves of the life we've planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us.
Oh, lovely. I love that.
Owning your story is the most brave thing you'll ever do.
Be a flamingo in a flock of pigeons.
Always be true to yourself.
My favourite quote is, we become what we want to be by consistently being what we want to become each day.
Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Yes, I do love that one. I've heard that many times. It's a good one.
My favourite quote was one that I found in 2008, right after I got home from the Beijing Paralympics.
Yep.
And it was, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
But one of the things he really advocates for is to ship it. Just ship it, which is, like that first draft, good is good enough. All of the, it's just put it out there, get feedback, do it again.
If you think a compliment about someone and you don't tell them, it's like buying them a birthday present and throwing it away. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Again, at risk of repeating myself, it would be someone has to win, so it might as well be you.
I love it.
That's what I tell myself every day.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a good one. Your favourite quote or rule that you live by?
That's an easy one. Love is all there is.
Oh.
Maybe the journey isn't much about becoming anything. Maybe it's about becoming everything that isn't really you, so you can be who you were meant to be in the first place.
I mean, honestly, yes, you can.
Yeah.
I know it's so simple, it's so on brand, but like I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got it almost in neon lights. Like I'm creating like a neon light for my office that simply says, yes, you can.
Oh,
because
that would be
every
awesome.
day it's so hard, like life and business is so hard sometimes. And it's just a necessary reminder.
Yes. Who inspires you and why?
So that's a tough question because a lot of people inspire me. Just even talking to you today, Jodie, it inspires me to, like we were sharing ideas and that gets me all excited.
Yeah.
So I think who I'm with, generally speaking, people inspire me.
People inspire me.
Yeah.
People that push themselves out of their comfort zone.
Yes.
That are prepared to speak up. That do brave things. That share their vulnerabilities.
Yeah. The social media world I really appreciate at the moment. The female rappers Lizzo and Rihanna, models like Ashley Graham, and
my greatest inspiration would be the strong women in my life. I'm so fortunate to be surrounded by so many incredible, strong, persevering, tenacious women.
Yeah.
From my mum to so many of my friends to my colleagues, and they are forever my inspiration, and they're really paving the way to show that women are capable of anything.
Yeah,
really.
Absolutely.
I really get inspired by women in leadership roles. And so when I was younger, it used to be sportswomen, but now I'm looking towards the likes of like Julie Bishop. I think she is the biggest badass. Pretty much any woman who can walk into a room full of men and still hold the room.
Yes, I love it.
Recently, I think that I'm going to default to my kids as they become their own adults. My son's going to be 18 in a couple days and my daughter's 20. I've just seen them become adults and start building their own resolve and have their own opinions, and it's just really it's inspiring to me to watch them come into their own.
My true inspiration, I think, is my daughter and my husband, but my daughter, because she's like this really cool person, and she's strong and she's empathetic and she's kind, and I feel like I've done a good job bringing up a good human, and that inspires me.
But we work with women who are, they're very young women between the ages of 25 and 35, and they're working with indigenous populations, in the Amazon, or we have a number of women who they're rehabilitating child soldiers in Sierra Leone. They're community organizers in inner city Detroit. They're working with wildlife in South Africa. I mean, you name it. I mean, they're just the most incredible causes, incredible women, and it is my life's work to help them do more of what they're doing, because, by goodness, we need them.
Yes.
Her name was Et, and when I met her, her grandson had died by suicide about 3 or 4 months earlier. Her husband had, we think, died by suicide. Her son had died by suicide. So there was a lot of depression in her family, and she was one of the most caring, loving, giving people that I'd ever met. And I kind of slipped into her life, and she was 60 years my senior, and she didn't die until she was 104.
Tell me, who inspires you and why?
It's got to be my dad. I think for me, he's the epitome of anyone that's, dealt with some pretty big challenges along the way on many occasions, and always manages to put a smile on his face and find time for his family.
This is really cheesy, but I think someone that inspires me a lot is Oprah Winfrey, who I actually met, won a nationwide competition, got to meet and have dinner with her. So
oh my God, how amazing.
She's like my all-time inspiration.
Gosh, I dedicated the book to my younger self.
Oh,
so
okay.
That was something that I
did read that and wondered who, because it's not your name, is it?
No.
No.
So when I was young, I couldn't pronounce my L's, so I used to call myself Coggy. Oh. And when it came time to dedicate the book, I thought about that like pure little girl who just was so full of love, right? And who still exists inside of me. And I asked my friend, I said, who should I dedicate the book to? And she was like, dedicate it to your damn self.
Yes.
Like, you know what? I'm going to dedicate it to her because she didn't quit. Like, and she refused to believe these things.
Yeah. And I think if I can remember, I think it says we made it. Is it that?
We made it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Yeah,
so
this
there you
one's
go.
for you.
How emotional. See, I've never asked a question about that, never realizing that that's you, but that's almost made me tear up. That is so beautiful.
Me too. Makes me cry almost.
That is so beautiful, and we'd never know that. So I'm so glad you shared that story with us.
So the last one is, finish this sentence. If I had even more confidence than I do now, I would.
If I had even more confidence than I do now, what would I do? The sky's kind of the limit with that, isn't it? I feel like, okay, this isn't going to be a quick answer, by the way.
That's all right.
But I feel like all of the positions that I've put myself in where I've had really low confidence, I haven't gotten the outcome that I've wanted. And I feel like that's based purely on my confidence. So I feel like if I had more confidence than I do now, I would probably put myself in so many more positions than I do now without like any fear.
Yeah.
So
fearless choices.
I would say I would be fearless. I guess that would be the end result. I would be fearless.
I would initiate more business-related ventures.
There you go. Yes.
I think I would put myself out there more.
If I had even more confidence than I do now, I would.
I'd probably speak to bigger audiences. And that would be it.
Own a bigger company and hire more employees.
Wonderful. Okay, finish this sentence. If I had even more confidence than I do now, I would.
What would I do? I'd bottle it up and sprinkle it on those around me.
And finish this sentence. If I had even more confidence than I do now, I would
rule the world.
Yeah.
I would be doing so many things. I would be writing more books and going on stage and just trying to do everything I can to empower women, which I'm already doing, but at a much bigger scale.
Yeah.
Honestly, voice my opinion, because in so many situations, I really want to say something. Like, I never usually say it because I'm like, let's just leave it. So definitely voicing my opinion on things that actually cross my boundaries and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
I would take on the world. Oh my God. It's all about global.
Yes.
I'd be brave enough to get out there, to do more, we're all working on our confidence, and I think this is the key. You get one level, and then you got to go to the next level, and I think it's that fear of putting yourself out there, and I have to push past it every day in my work, and it is doing more of it. If I had more confidence, it would have absolutely do more. Yes. Change the world.
Okay, last one. Finish this sentence. If I had even more confidence than I do now, I would.
If I had even more confidence, then I would spend my time helping other women get to the point where I am, especially with all the social media, BS happening.
Yeah.
I have to laugh at this one because people have been saying to me for the past few weeks, because my book's been out, they're like, when are you going on Oprah? And I'm like, oh good God, don't be ridiculous, but who knows if you're listening, Oprah. I'm having a moment where I kind of had an idea and now I've squished it.
Yeah.
But I really would like to have a bigger voice in the world.
Right.
I've been working on finding my voice for a long time, and I feel like I'm getting there. And I, joking about Oprah, but I would really, really wish for myself that I could play this bigger game.
Yeah.
And I'm working on it, Jodie.
Absolutely. And this book is such a huge step towards that, because your voice and the voice you're giving to the women in this book is out there, and you've really stepping forward into having a bigger voice in the world and sharing that.
I would keep growing. Yeah. I would, I guess I would never stop growing. To me, my confidence is directly related to my growth, my learning, with my confidence, I just keep always saying, what else can I learn here?
Okay, last one. Finish this sentence. If I had even more confidence than I do now, I would
not take no for an answer.
Ooh,
I'm pretty good at putting myself out there, but once somebody says no, I'm like, okay, thanks. So sorry to waste your time.
I would publish a book this year with all of the poems I have written about people along the way.
Oh.
And it'd be fantastic. I just don't know yet how to publish a book, so need to look into that.
Okay.
I mean, I just think of like a rocket ship. Like I would blast off into the stratosphere.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Dance on Instagram. I haven't quite got to the dancing yet.
I'm sure I've seen you
do a reel. I haven't done a reel yet. Dancing in my stories.
Okay.
And my friend tags me all the time and I just ignore her.
Well, Sheila, thank you so much for your insight. Thank you so much for coming along and spending time with us today.
Thank you, Jodie. It's been awesome being on this show with you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for inviting me and allowing this conversation to happen, because only through having the conversation do more and more people get to practice and give things a go. And that's the key. It's about a willingness to learn and practice and learn from everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks so much for inviting me. I've had such a ball speaking with you today, Jodie. It's been really fun. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jodie. It is great to be here. And I have to say, I love the name of your podcast. It is an aspiration to stay in my confidence all the time.
I know.
Not always achieved, but definitely aspirational.
It's aspirational for all of us. That's the point, I guess, of the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor.
Yes, girls, go do it.
Go do it. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me. It's just a real honor to be able to do this kind of work and have these conversations.
I want to call back on the quote you just said, because it is courageous to own your story. But I really want to say to you that it is even more courageous to share your story and have the courage and everything to put this out into the world, because owning your story, yes, and acknowledging that, but sharing your story like you've been doing makes such a big difference to people out in the world that might be struggling, that might identify, that might even not identify with you, but they connect on some level and they take the learning. We can only learn from people who go to that vulnerable place and share things about ourselves that are the struggles, that are maybe the not so great things we're proud of or what have you, because we are all there. We are all We're all in these places at certain times. So I just want to thank you, Angie, for, yes, having the courage to own your story, but having even more courage to share your story and come on to the podcast today. I know it'll make a difference to people, to our listeners, and it's an important message that you're stepping into and sharing.
Thank you, Jodie. I really appreciate your kindness. I value you and your work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been such a privilege and pleasure to be here, and to wherever you may be in the world, human listening, I hope that today is your best day yet. Enjoy it.
Yes, absolutely.